Hey, what's up everybody? Bdf 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so I took care of everything from DPSS, sat on the phone for about 3 hours. Took care of it, prayed this morning. I was like, Lord, I gotta get this out the way. 31st is the day. I checked the account. It said, yo, we're gonna cut you off on the 31st if you don't handle this. I'm like, man, it's Friday. It's like 8:30 in the morning. Let me call them now. By the time I do that, if everything lines up the way it's supposed to, we'll be done by noon. No, it's about 11:45 and it's done. So yeah, I sat on the phone for 20 minutes for them to transfer me to one person that told me I need to go somewhere else. She transferred me for 45 minutes to another lady who told me I needed to go somewhere else, and I sat on the phone for another 45 minutes. It's just like craziness, man, just absolute ridiculousness. And took care of everything. The disclaimer, they had like a couple disclaimers you had to like sign over the phone. Had me fill out the same information, give them the same paperwork from last year, put a different date on it and sign it again that stated what my financial situation is and declaring it's true. It's just unnecessary bullcrap, to be honest with you. And then they had us listen to our rights and responsibilities. This dude sitting up there talking for like 45 minutes on an automated recording. It was just like, state of California is so damn ridiculous, man, when it comes to certain things like this. It's just like absurd. As if they haven't thrown money away. As they nickel and dime people, but will throw money at bullcrap. Throw money at absolute bullcrap. It's just a joke. It's a joke. It's laughable. It's getting worse. And I'm over it. I'm over the entire thing, to be honest with you. But we still push forward. Praise God. You know, I don't think too much about my own problems. I just ask him to help me handle them, and then that's he works it out. You know, I pray about things a couple times, and when I look up, they're done. You know, that's kind of how this has worked with stuff like this. Stress about it as much as you can. That's what my brain is going to do naturally. But you know, as I said in a devotional this morning, you give me everything you stress about, let me handle it. And he did, and I'm happy. And so that's really what it comes down to, man. Very thankful that is behind me. I don't have to stress about it no more. And now I can go start my day pretty much at the same time I would otherwise start it. In fact, maybe even an hour earlier than I usually leave the house. Lakers beat the Celtics yesterday. That was a big deal. Very happy about that. Did a couple art pieces yesterday. But yeah, I wasn't having a good body day yesterday. It was bad. So I stayed in. I did my laundry. But after I finished my laundry, I got some rest. And, you know, the Lord would have it that I had about an hour before tip-off. I was waking up out of my nap, and I'm like, man, I want to do some damn exercise. I want to get my 100 squat regimen done. And I was like, I don't really have time to do this, but I really don't care because I feel like I've been lazing around. I wasn't feeling good, but I feel better after I got up from my sleep. And it's like, yeah, next thing I need to do is exercise. So I did my exercise. I listened to one of my playlists that I made. Got that done. Put on the food, did everything I had to do. Got in the shower. Got out the shower. And at the exact moment I was getting out the shower, by the time I was done doing everything that I do in my routine to get all the stuff done for the shower, the game tipped off at the exact moment I turned it on. Like, it was crazy how all that lined up to the very moment I turn on the TV, or rather my phone, get to the app and everything I do, and it tipped off as I was turning it on. So I was able to see the whole game without any trouble. It all lined up very well. Man, so I could not complain, man. I was very pleased, and the team went on to win big. So it was a good overall night for me. I meditated a lot yesterday. Throughout the course of my day, I was telling God I don't want to waste my day, but I think I'm going to put off being productive to just try to replenish the energy, since I don't feel like I have it right now. I just did not feel good at all. I wasn't even in pain. It was just, I felt like I was moving in slow motion while I was doing laundry and stuff like that. I just did not have any energy. And when it was time to get up and get out the house, I just couldn't bring myself to really do anything. After I finished putting everything together from laundry, it was like, man, I don't want to do nothing. there's nowhere for me to really, I don't need to purchase anything. So it's like, I'm just going out to be going out. And on a day like this, if my body's telling me to rest, I'll probably just rest and then get up and work out. So that was what I did. And got the exercise that way. And I just feel better. I feel a lot better 100% right now, especially now that for which was stressing me out is behind me. And then getting that exercise done last night really helped too. And the dreams I had last night were pretty intense. I've been having some really intense dreams, to be honest with you guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. Last night I had a dream that I was arguing with my mom about something. It was very strange, as I always find myself with mommy issues in my dreams at least twice a year. I have mommy issue dreams. But this was one of them situations where we were back in the 90s with cassette players and VCR tape players. So if you don't know what a VCR is, the way the VCRs work is, you have to rewind, and it takes some time to rewind. You have a full or fast forward if you want to get past certain things, whatever it is. And one thing I think about VCRs before I go into the story, it's amazing how people didn't accidentally record stuff on like rented movies, because you could very easily, like, let's say you put in a rented movie and you have your recording set up to record the 10 o'clock news. If that tape is in there, it could record over something that you don't want to record over. Like, it's amazing how that didn't happen more often. I don't know if it happened to too many people back then. I don't think it did. But like, it was so easy to destroy something you didn't intend to destroy just by accidentally recording something. And every once in a while it did happen, but never happened with rented movies. Very blessed that never happened. Anyway, I think what it really came down to was that my mother was asking me to do something with the VCR. And I was doing it, no problem, and everything was fine. But then I was upset at something that happened with the VCR. I think I found that something had been recorded or something like that, and it was my fault. And I turned to my mother and I said something to her that echoed the fact that I was unhappy with it. And she wigged out as if I was angry at her. And I was telling her, like, I'm not upset at you at all, but you're wigging out on me. And then I said something along the lines of, this is the same thing you did 12 years ago. I wasn't even mad at you. I wasn't even thinking about any anger pointed at you, but you wigged out on me in response to what I was expressing to you. And it was just a big old mommy issue type of thing. And, I kind of woke up out of that dream understanding, like, yo, I don't remember any incident such as that. I don't think that actually happened in real life. But what it spoke to was understanding how to manage dealing with people who have had trauma in their lives. And I woke up out of my dream thinking, you were raised by trauma. Because my mother had suffered some severe traumas as a young woman, to where some of her ways of doing things were reactionary to trauma, no different than myself. And some of the stuff that I deal with is not the same problems, but she had issues of a different kind because of the specific traumas that she had. And she raised her son a certain way, and some of the things that we kind of had normal in our household was, I think, her being protecting of reliving or ever going through certain things that she had already been through. And we talk about like moments where people will wig out on you for stuff that isn't even pointed at them. They just see anger and all of a sudden they get angry. Like, that's a reactionary thing. It's a reactionary traumatic response that may not necessarily have anything to do with you at all. But they're gonna point it at you just like they feel you're pointing at them, whatever it is that ultimately you're not. And that's what it was kind of alluding to. It was like, yo, your mother was reacting to trauma. That's why certain things were so normal in your household and may not have been necessarily normal to other people. And then maybe that's why she handled certain things certain ways. Maybe that's why you might have seen her have moments where she didn't always appear to be okay. It was because of the severe trauma that she had went through as a young person, and how it played on her as she grew older. And so the combination of the different things that I've done in my life that had that walked along that same path, coupled with how I was raised a certain way, I think probably caters to why I am the way I am. The norms that she placed in my life to be alone and not have too many people over, not date very much at all. Those type of things, coupled with me already being a bit apprehensive about how I allow certain people into my life and what, how I like being alone and all of that. A lot of that is me reacting to trauma. A lot of that is conditioned norms based on her raising me, having been traumatized through certain things. So it's like, that's what the dream was telling me. I woke up yesterday morning asking the Lord to help me grow that day. I was like, Lord, I want to see some growth on this day. I was saying that in the shower. And throughout the course of my day, nothing happened. I didn't know how to leave the house. Did laundry, slept, woke up, worked out, Lakers, sleep, like a couple art pieces in between. That was literally my day. So I'm like, and I went to sleep last night saying, Lord, I don't think I did too much growing. I don't feel like you gave me the growth, but will you be in my dream? And as I went to my sleep state, that was the dream that came to mind. I was like, it's just an understanding that you were raised by someone who had gone through some traumatic things, and you too have been through traumatic things, and it might cater to why you struggle with certain things that you do. You double down on isolation. It's not just because of you protecting yourself. It's because your mother allowed you, by way of what she went through, to believe that was the way life is for you. You're alone. We don't have too many people over. Don't need a whole lot, from others. She was very good about being social with her friends. She was an extrovert, so it didn't translate to her being isolated. That wasn't her way. But when it came to people coming around her son and people coming around her household, she was extremely guarded. So me being introverted, with that being my norm, doubled down on the need to be alone at times where it may not make any sense, or not wanting to be around people that I know good and well I would enjoy being around if I become around them. That type of thing is just some of her, dare I say, paranoia, coupled with my natural reaction to my own trauma, wanting to be alone, really kind of made it so that I struggle with some of the things I struggle with today. And so that's what kind of the growth was last night. And if I remember correctly, I ended up going back to sleep after waking up from that dream and having another dream that I don't really remember, but it held some understanding of working through trauma as well. So, sometimes you can go to therapy and it would trigger certain things. So the last 2 months, I hadn't had any real conversations with myself, so to speak, about my own trauma, my own behavior, anything like that. Going to see Lydia this past week kind of, I guess, opened that door a little bit for myself. So, I think it's good for me, to be honest with you. But I've been struggling so much with wanting to take care of this DPSS thing, but being stressed out about it, and the social circumstances that are coming up tomorrow, with my boy Smokey being in town and wanting everybody to come together, and just not really wanting to be a part of that for irrational reasons. I think for reasons that don't have nothing to do with seizing the moment and reincorporating myself with people that really care about me and want to see me doing well, and people I enjoy being around. Like, that part doesn't even incorporate into my mind, but it's more so about how I just don't want to be in the setting. And I'm struggling with that. You know what I mean? I'm really struggling with something simple as going to hang out with some friends. So it's like, this is what I think the dream was here to help me with. I've been praying a lot about it. I want things to go well for my boy Smokey while he's in town. I want to be a part of it, but at the same time, I literally don't want to do it. I don't want to do the task itself. It's like, it's just struggling with my own self. So, yeah, man, I don't know that I'm going there tomorrow at all, especially since the Lakers play the Golden State Warriors. I'm not sure I'm going to show up, but that's not the point. The point is that it shouldn't be no reason why I wouldn't want to. It's not like I can't watch the game there. You know what I mean? So it's one of those situations where I just think I'm struggling with myself. This was a big hurdle for me, getting over this DPSS CalFresh crap. That was what I was really stressing the hardest, and it's behind me as of right now. For about an hour now, I've had that off of my shoulders, and I feel a lot better. So, prayer works. At the end of the day, that's what I want to tell people. Prayer works, man. I know it's tough. I know it takes time to receive the blessings and the answers and the strength and all that. It don't come when you call on it and you need it in the moment a lot of times, but you give God some moments, man. He'll answer them. He'll come around. It just takes some time, And that's what it is. I'm here to tell people, prayer takes time. his answer doesn't come. It's a lot of moving parts. So sometimes you just got to be patient and let him move other things around delicately, carefully, so that he's not stepping on other people's blessings so that your blessing can come. Because this is world, this is matter, so to speak. This is a physical world. So if he's going to make everything smooth for me, then that means he's pushing things around for other people. But if other people are asking for things as well to be smooth, then it may have to push against what it is that ultimately makes my life smooth. How does God smooth that out without time to work things out so that everybody can get what it is they need? So that everybody can be strong enough for the times when things are pushed against them. So it's like, no matter how divine our blessings are, we still live in a physical world. And as it being a physical world, if the Lord is going to create miracles within it, without hurting everybody to fix things for you, it's going to take him some maneuvering to get it done. So that's what I want to share with people. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see things happen when you want it to. It's the same thing we say about the stock market. It's the same thing we talk about in the NBA in regards to the trade market and every different type of thing like that. Things don't always move as you want them to move. And if you move forcing it to, you could likely ruin some things that you shouldn't be ruining. Or mess up some things in regards to what you're supposed to receive. But if you can stand in your space of peace while things are trying to be moved around, however long it takes, when it does come around, you'll be in a space where you understand that your blessing has come, your prayer's been answered. But if your faith is determined by how quickly the Lord moves in your favor, then there's some things we're not taking into account when we think that way, that need to be considered. Like what has to go wrong somewhere else in order for things to go right our way. What has to be removed from somebody else's hands in order for us to receive what it is we're asking for. Who has to have a bad day, so to speak, because things aren't going their way because the Lord divinely made it work our way. And two, not losing faith when things go the wrong way for us, because that could be what's going on there for someone else. So, growth, man. Growth comes in many ways. And as much praying as I've been doing, I just knew that he would take care of certain things. Now, whether or not I'm strong enough in the moment to be patient, or strong enough in the moment to hold the faith in the areas necessary, it's a whole nother story. But at least I know the wisdom that tells me that's what I should be trying to do. That's what I should be working toward. Change don't come overnight, man. Same application of thought. It don't change overnight. You don't change overnight. The world don't change overnight. But brick by brick, you can build. Exercise by exercise, you can gain strength, etc. And so that's what we're preaching here, man. It gets frustrating when you want to see change within yourself overnight. When you feel like you're messing things up in real time, you need things to change in real time so those things can't be messed up. But if you give them to God, they're not going to be messed up. And you let him work into the inner workings of the circumstance within you and within the circumstance and within the patience necessary to wait on him, then you'll find out that he does, in fact, be reliable to fix the things that he's asking you to be patient on waiting for. So that's what I'm here to tell people, man. If we can ask for anything besides what we want, is the patience to wait on it, the patience to be steadfast on what needs to happen so that we can work in unison with his intention upon our prayers. Don't allow us to be distracted or coerced away from his blessing or knocked off track while he's en route trying to get us where we're going. I asked the Lord to do this, and this. Okay, this is going to take about a month. Well, within the course of the month, the enemy's going to try to attack me, make me think it's not coming, make me think the month is going to be delayed or not even occur, make me think you're going to die before the month even happens. He's going to have you thinking so many different things if you let him, while you're waiting for that month to pass. But if you stay close to God and meditate throughout the course of that month, ask the Lord for the patience to endure that month, ask the Lord for ways to make you useful and make you happy during the course of that month, you're going to find out that month can go by fast and it could be useful that you lived out that month however it goes. And so that's the blessing of closer relationships with the Most High, is that he can help you have this patience to wait out that month. And when the blessing comes, it's that much sweeter. So don't let the devil rob you of your blessing by knocking you off course when the Lord has you en route. Use the time you're en route to better yourself. Use that time en route to discipline yourself and build. Grab a brick and stack it on another brick and build something while you're waiting. These are the type of things the Lord wants you to do in gaining strength and gaining patience. So that's what I tell anybody, man. Anybody that's intent on waiting on God or intent on asking for something from God. Use the time that you're waiting for him to bring that blessing to get closer to him so he can help you in every other way that may be necessary. Because a lot of times we're waiting on one thing. He wants to do about 8 things. You know, there might be 8 or 9 different things. And throughout the course of that time you're waiting, he will open your mind to what those 9 things, 10 things may be. And then all of a sudden you have about 9 prayers that you're waiting on. And rather than just the one that you thought was the most important. You know, the Lord said you can ask the Lord for a love life, a wife or son, or a husband, whatever your situation is. But what you need to be is aligning with the right person that's going to have the path that's meant for you, that's going to be wired for all of your ways, that you're going to be wired for their ways, that y'all could be in the right place at the right time so that things can work out, so that that person can shake loose circumstances in their lives, so that they can be ready for what it is that's required to be right with you. It's a lot of different things. Not having the right person may not be the right time. Having the right time and the right person may not be the right circumstances. You may not be the right person for them. But if you allow the Lord to take that month that you're waiting on them to come to better you to be more right for that person, what you're going to ultimately find out is that when you get with that person, you're less likely to lose it. You're less likely to find yourself in a position where you're tempted by temptation if you let the Lord work out all of that throughout the course of while you're waiting for them. If you're trying to force your way towards somebody just to be with somebody because you need somebody, chances are you're going to get the wrong somebody at the wrong time and it's going to fail. And that's what the world is doing. That's why you see so many marriages fail. That's why you see so many relationships sour. That's why you see so many people cheating on one another. Because they ain't never supposed to be, y'all wasn't supposed to be with one another. God had something better for you or something different for you, but because you were trying to force against him and his intentions and his timing and his alignment, didn't check with him to see if this person was any good. You told God what you wanted and you proceeded to go after what you wanted. At the end of the day, he has the last say. And that's something that also came my way last night before I went to sleep. Like, he has the last say. A lot of times we, and I speak for myself, maybe you do too, speak to God as if he's supposed to be working for you. Oh, God, give me this, give me that, and the understanding to do this, and when to do that, I need that, and then if that, and that, thank you. And all you got is a thank you to give him. It's like, nah, fam, he has the final say. Now, what I find is that he's more than happy to do for us, so it equates to the same energy. We make demands, he provides. Because he loves us unselfish to that degree. All he asks is whatever he asks you, specifically to you. But just the same, it's like at the end of the day, when you try to force things like love, case in point with myself, when I was trying to force last year's situation, when I was telling y'all about my homegirl Kay, trying to make that something that it wasn't meant to be, trying to will that into what it is that he wanted from me. And he had something else for me, I guess. I haven't seen it yet, but you know what I mean? He was essentially allowing me to think what I wanted to think. But at the end of the day, he wasn't giving me confirmation that I was chasing the right thing, or that this person played that role in my life in the future. Or that this was something that he was okay and co-signing on that. When you go to the Lord, he's asking you, you know, to be patient. He's not telling you to pick out what you want and then force it at the time that you want it because you want it at that time. He's asking you to be open to what it is he wants to do, because at the end of the day, he does have the final say. And your alignment with somebody else can bring about so many different things that affect other people. So it's like, if he gonna bless you with what you want, it may not be good for that person, that person, that person, that person, and that person. It may be very bad for them, actually. You know what I mean? But if you're gonna force it, the devil gonna help you. And that's what ends up going wrong for a lot of people. And we're so bankrupt spiritually. We're so morally and spiritually disrupted in this era. So nearly everybody's operating that way. So you see nearly everybody's relationship fail. Like, literally. How many people are actually in tune with the Holy Spirit in 2025? They're taught how not to be. They're taught to go after what you want. You know, they hear to nothing else. You trust God, but you trust him to give you what is aligned with the world, not necessarily what is aligned with his vast spiritual nature. That's religion, and they try to teach us to stay away from that. It's like, none of that's actually true. Your relationship with God is yours. He wants what's best for not only you, but so many others, whether you're selfish or not. And if you're going to force your way through circumstances to get what your will is against his will, then he's going to ruin that for you, because that's what has to happen in order for other people's circumstances to not get ruined. So that beautiful marriage you think is meant for you, it's not going to work, because that person was never meant for you, and you didn't even check with him to see if it was the one, if she or he was the one. You know what I mean? You didn't even check. You liked that person for reasons that were all your own. You went forth in a timing that probably wasn't aligned with his, and you ultimately find yourself in a situation where you're with the wrong person. Probably got a bunch of kids. Now, can he do good with bad? Of course. God can always do good with what shouldn't be. But that don't mean you don't have to suffer all that comes with that so that things can align the way they need to be. You're going to probably be the one losing. And so you see so many people making that mistake right now. And so it's like, man, for me, I'm not interested in making that mistake in this point in my life. I'm 40 years old, man. I don't want to make that mistake right now. I want what God wants for me, and anything I'm having trouble with in regards to wanting certain things that ain't meant for me, I want him to gracefully provide me the way to receive the truth, and furthermore, the strength to be patient and allow him to align me with what it is he wants to do. That's what it is. And then when it falls into place, I know that my sacrifice and my patience will have otherwise worked out. We can talk about what it is I want and what's meant for me, and how I'm willing it. And I see that girl, she looks a certain way. Maybe she talked to me a certain way. Now I think she's mine. Now she's perfect for me. Am I perfect for her? 9 out of 10 people don't really give a crap about that. They're going to assume so based on their ego. Yeah, of course. I got this under control. I got that under control. I'm willing to do this. If I want to go against them, I'll just lie about it and get away with it. Like, so many people are egomaniacs to say they want what they want. They don't have their cake and eat it too. Do they have any intention of making sacrifices to be loyal? Yeah, they think they do until they find something they like, and then they want that too. And as long as nobody find out about it, it's cool. It's like, if that's what you think the Lord is trying to bless somebody else with, don't be surprised when it fails on you. When you've been exposed for all these different things that you're doing behind their back. It was never meant for them to be with you, and you were only moving on your own. You wanted things for you. You didn't care if you were any good for that person. You just wanted what you wanted. And if you want what you want, you can move as if God don't exist. He's still going to push against you when you do something against his time and against his will. And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing so many applications of that all over the world. Everywhere you look, you're seeing applications of that. People moving against God. Some of them asking God to bless their intentions, which means that he can make it so that it doesn't completely get destroyed. But otherwise, it's not going to work. It's going to end in turmoil. It's going to end in them losing something. It's going to end in them being in a situation where things are rough. It's going to end with them having kids that they can barely manage to co-parent, stuff like that. You know, maybe he has it set up for that to be the case. Not everybody falls into those circumstances. Sometimes those are the circumstances he wants for you for reasons of his own. But 9 out of 10 people, I believe, find themselves in them circumstances because they go against what he wants. Not because they're doing what he wants. Because they're not. They're doing what they want. They're hoping that God bless them because they them, and therefore I'm me, and the world centers around me, and I'm ambitious, and I'm this, and I have that. I only have but so much time, so I got to utilize my time, and all this selfishness and self-centered main character sorcery that doesn't really actually align with the reality of things as they come. Yeah, it may work as you look at it, and it comes your way for a moment. It's cool, but if it ain't meant for you, it's not going to work out in the long run, and too many people are short-sighted in that regard. And we're taught to be, but we need to unlearn that. And that short-sighted crap doesn't work. Everybody's so enthralled with right now. Oh, right now. You got to get this right now. We talk about all the time on this channel. Oh, I need this. I need the numbers. Oh, we need the money. Get the money. What happens? I don't know. Who cares? I just make sure I have it. And when I have it, it never betrays me. Like, a lot of people trust that money's never going to betray them. Money is an object. It's a representative object that works amongst the agreement of men, most of which who are compromised in a lot of situations that have nothing to do with the alignment of the timing or the Spirit of God. A God who's definitely in control of all things, whether man likes it or not. So as he continues to move against God, just bigger applications of what we already said ends up coming into play. It ends up not working out for them. They end up falling hard. The empires fall. Their armies get wiped out. Plague hits their lives. All different types of stuff. Man. It's just smell of death that I've been smelling it back in this little area. I don't know if it's a dead animal or worse, but there is death right there. Right there. Certain. Anyway, not important. I've been smelling that for over a week. It's getting stronger. But anyway, the point is, it was never meant for God's will, not his timing. And then you're moving as if he doesn't exist, trying to force things for your timing, for your limited understanding of what timing is. I think I only got 20. I'm 40 years old. I got to hurry up and do this before I'm 60. Yeah, that's what you think. That's the logic that you are working with based on the understanding of the world around you and how things have to go. That don't necessarily mean that's how he's going to move things. That's not necessarily what he's telling you he's going to do. He's not telling you nothing. You're not even listening to him if he were. All he really wanted you to do is check in with him, stand still, and pray for patience. Like, literally. But you need this right now. I can't stand to be alone. That's because you're not turning to God to ask you to help stand to be alone. It's the very essence of what you struggle with that he needs to hear from you in regards to. Lord, I can't stand to be alone. I'm frustrated in this area. Lord, I can't hardly make it in this area. Help me make it in this area. Help me stand alone with as the time would be. Don't find me something that's going to take away this struggle. Give me the strength to deal with the struggle. You don't have to make it easy on me. Just make it so that this is something that I can handle better. And then it is not difficult at all. Therefore, by default, it becomes easy. The situation don't have to smooth out. I need to get more rigid. You see what I'm saying? So it's like when you start praying for peace, praying for strength, start allowing him the patience to provide it to you. You don't find yourself weak as to be needed to be complete by things or circumstances or people. I'm going to crumble if I don't have somebody. No, you need to ask the Lord to help you not crumble while you don't have somebody. You see what I'm saying? And trust he's going to do that over time. And ask him for the patience to wait for that time to come. Help you get through the time you're in when you're struggling with that for what you do not have. And help you want the right things, which is a very important aspect of this conversation. To be of better wants. A concept that we don't have in our nation. To adjust our strength level to want the right things so that we can live without the things that we have no business wanting in the first place. You ever heard anybody in capital land tell you that? You don't need that. Not only do you not need that, but you're worse for wanting it. You keep asking for things that are not good for you or the people around you. But you got to have it, right? No. You got to ask him to help you deal without it. Oh, Lord, I need this. I need this. No, you don't. What you need is to be able to live without it. Oh, God, I got to have this so bad. No, no, you don't need that. It's not for you. It's going to make life worse on you and other people. Stay away from all that. Come to me and let me help you with what it is you actually need, which is me. And that's it. And the stronger you have the leverage and understanding that, the less likely you'll need other things to supplement what is otherwise lacking in your faith. It's rather simple when you think about it. If I need, and I hate to be crass, but if I need to wipe my backside, I need toilet paper. I don't need the Lord to magically make it so that I never have to use the restroom again. I don't need the Lord to come down from the sky and create a new concoction of things from which to clean my backside. I just need some dang toilet paper. Now we can sit up here and ask him to create some new third option or second option for wiping our behind and be frustrated and lose our minds over the fact that we didn't receive it. Or we can ask for the intuition to know when the toilet paper's running out so that we can make sure we have it when we need it. So that we won't be without it. And the same goes for everything else that we ultimately think we must have some special way or have right now or whatever. Just the preparation to make sure you have it when you need it. The faith to know that you can afford it even when it doesn't seem like you can. A way to get it out of some other type of way if you can afford it. But that you understand what you need versus what it is that you're going to ask for. To be of better wants. Don't give me the strength to walk around with a dirty behind. That's not the strength I need, Holy Spirit. You understand what I'm saying? Give me the strength to make sure I have toilet paper and the wisdom from which to use it. so I can be clean as you would intend. You see what I'm saying? That's what we need to do in regards to other aspects of our lives. Treat it like we would in regards to that. There are things you can do to make sure you have what you need. There are things he can do to make sure you're patient. There are things you can do to make sure you have the right wants in your life, so that you're not wishing for things that are worse for you and other people. You know, the presence of trying to make yourself happy. Align me with the things that otherwise make me happy, that help other people to be fine and happy too. The alignment. And his timing, your patience, ultimately your intentions toward him will ultimately align you with what you need. Not just what you were asking for. Because your wants betray you. And so that's what I've come to understand. I wanted the wrong thing for myself. Okay, it didn't come my way. But the good thing that I did in this situation was I prayed the whole way through. Hey, Lord, if this ain't for me, help me receive the understanding that it's not the right way, so that I don't ever find myself crumbling in the presence and not receiving what it is I'm asking for. See to it that I'm getting what it is I'm supposed to have, so I don't find myself needing things that are not meant for me. You know what I mean? Like, see to it that I'm able to heal from a broken heart from not receiving what it is I've been praying for, so that I don't lose faith and ultimately find myself away from you in the presence of you doing what it is you always wanted to do, for just against my own worldly and limited understanding wishes. Now, these are the type of things we need to be praying for. Are people worried about the wrong things? And they really are. That's what it really comes down to 9 out of 10 times. You need to be a better once. Oh, Lord, help me deal with this situation because it's so bad. Yes. Or you can ask for a better situation. Better options, the strength to walk away from the circumstances. You can ask him to change a devilish mind. Or you can ask them for the strength to move on from that devilish person, so that they can have their mind to themselves. And maybe if you ask for the right things, you might do more good for them as well. Because as long as you're around enabling them, asking for the strength to be around them while they ain't no good, you're making it easy for them to continue being the way they've been. You need to be asking for different things, don't you think? And so that's what it really comes down to, man. A million different variations for that. You got to apply to so many different people all over the world, man. Chasing the wrong things, forcing things by way of ego. I ain't no good at this, but I'm not going to give up. Well, maybe you need the strength to move on so that you can find what it is that ultimately your intentions would otherwise be best for having in your limited life. A fleeting life, you're spending your time doing the wrong thing. Yeah, you're applying the right intensity, but you chose the wrong subject from which to point that intensity. Your devotion is pointed in the wrong direction. Good devotion, poor direction. I'm going to keep doing this. It may be right that you keep doing something, just probably not that. But I can't give up on this, because if I give up on this, then I won't have what? And that's when the lack of faith comes in. And if I do this, then this falls apart, and then what? You can't handle that? You go crazy if that happens? It becomes too tedious, the task necessary to live through that reality? That's what you need the Lord for. Hey, Lord, help me deal with the reality of what's going to come when this goes this way, because that's what ultimately is ahead. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what you need. Endurance. Patience. The discernment and understanding that maybe your wants are not the right wants. And maybe your devotion's pointing in the wrong direction. Or some variation of something like that. And that's why I always ask the Lord every day these days, man, align me with your timing. Jump into my mind and help me with the assignment, whatever it is. But align me with your timing so that when I'm in the right place at the right time. And sure enough, that's what he's been doing. I had about 7 different steps, 7 different things that needed to be deviated away from in a given moment. Within the steps that I had planned. And by the time I ended up completing all of those steps, I was exactly at the start of what it is I needed to do. At the moment that ultimately aligned with the timing of what it is that I was ultimately asking him to help me with. That's timing, man. Timing, that's the biggest proof. Biggest proof of a divine is the timing. Certain things, they're not going to work out when you want them to, but if you let him work out the timing of them all, not only do they work out in this area, but probably 17,000 other areas too. That's what comes from working with the divine rather than against him. And so that's why I'm of the mindset like, yo, man, just learn. It doesn't change. Change doesn't come overnight. You've been working a different way your whole life. Give yourself some time. Give yourself repeated prayer. You know, it's just like exercise, just like taking medicine. You're not gonna take it one time and be healed. You gotta continue to take the doses until it's done. Just like chemo, you gotta keep on taking it till the cancer's gone. You ain't gonna take it just once. Prayer's the same way. Lord, we're gonna take this in doses. Every day I'm asking you for the same thing in regards to making me stronger, making me more likely to be patient, making me more likely to be aligned with your timing. And as I continue to stumble, continue to direct my path. If I have some setbacks, give me the strength to forgive myself so I don't get deviated from that path of the change that's ultimately coming from what it is that we're trying to do here. Work on me. I'm a selfish person. I have a desire for things to always work out my way. Even if I think I'm selfish, I fail in my execution of it. Work on me today. Tomorrow, work on me today. The next day, work on me today. Do it as long as it takes till you get to a space where that is in your mind. And that he's working on you in a way that allows for you to be unselfish as you intend to. Don't get frustrated that it hasn't come overnight. You can't do 3 crunches and have a 6-pack. You ain't gonna jog 3 times and lose 50 pounds. Like, you gotta really keep at it. And so that's what I'm telling people, man. We work on so many different things, brick by brick, step by step, rep by rep. Everything that's worth having is worth working for, and anything worth working for, you best believe the enemy's going to try to derail you from. It is just how it goes. And so you got to be able to block out the distractions, block out the noise, keep coming back through the days where it doesn't feel like you have it, and continue to go about your habits, developing those habits and the structures of allowing you to be as best as you want to be in whatever it is you're trying to be good at. First day is going to suck. End of the first week, you're going to be sore. End of the first month, you will have established some habits, but you probably still find yourself being drawn to the idea that you don't have to do this anymore. Get through those moments, and eventually you have those habits you're looking for. That's what I know. First step's always the hardest one. But the more you take on new challenges in that way, the more easy it is to challenge yourself to take first steps more often. And that's what it really is about as well. So that's what I'm here to tell people, man. Change do not come overnight, especially change that changes yourself, your environment, rebuilding circumstances. You want the strength to be able to start over if for some reason you get set back or everything gets wiped away. That's a strength that is really difficult. It's one worth praying for when you don't have those circumstances in your life. I need to work on that. And Lord, give me the strength to start over. I've been building, and a gust of wind came by and blew it all over. But I want the strength to restart and rebuild. Bigger, badder each time. Without feeling like I have to throw it all away or quit or whatever. Give me the strength to rebuild if necessary. And when it's necessary, be there with me for the patience and the comforting that is otherwise required for me to get through the moment where that realization comes. You work that want into your life, and you're basically indestructible, immovable, can't be stopped by anything other than death itself. And if you believe in the timing of God, then you know that that's his call, no one else's. Bdf 44, I'll thank you all for watching.